What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's another live trading with AmmaJamma, and I am AmmaJamma. Let's get right into it. We are going to, let me flip my screen here and we'll get going. All right. Sorry, I was looking at Verizon. I had a question about Verizon. We got the chart pulled up right now. Let's do the SPY first today, and then we'll pop to everything else. Because the SPY has been pretty interesting the last few days. We lost 400 pre-market, which to me is definitely a bearish indication at this point, but not too bearish. Bearish where I think if we open below this peak low from yesterday afternoon before the secondary pop, I think if we lose that, which we did, but we reclaimed it. If we say right now, right where we're at right now, 398.50. 398, a little lower than that. I think we could very easily test 395 today. 395 is a major area. That's what I'm watching. It's been a major area long term. If you pop on a 4-hour chart, you can see so many times that area was a pretty major area all the way through. So that's it, just very simply, that's what I'm looking at. I'm not bullish, and I wouldn't necessarily go long on any positions. We day trade at all levels, but you definitely want to see break up over this heavy resistance at 400, at exactly 400. We couldn't, once we lost it, we couldn't break back over it. So in reality, this 398 to 400 range is risky business. This is the range I would be very cautious trading in, unless it's a strong bounce or a strong support in this area here. So we're going to put that yellow, and we will move on. Let's check the top runners of the day. We had a couple interesting ones already this morning. We had Grom. BXRX is popping right now, so let's immediately get into it. Let's pop some line on these bad boys, and let's see what we can do. All right, so obviously with this one, we're in this little uptrend channel. That's immediately where we're going to watch. We've got the 3 touch points on the bottom, 3 touch points on the top. It's obeying this channel, and that's what it is. This is not a bear flag or a bull flag. It's much of the uptrend is much longer than this flagpole here. So what I would look for in the market open is a test and a bounce in in this area right here. This is honestly the area I would expect to see us bounce at, that slip of our uptrend channel, and then that immediate retest and the pop back into it. So you would take that entry up at the pop back into this, and I would expect to pick up that support at this last support zone here, and then our secondary support zone right here. Actually, I pull this one down a little right here. So these are the main bounce areas we are looking at into market open. And the reason I draw boxes instead of straight lines is because I think people take that line way too literally. You've got to give it a little breathing room on either end. You get wicks that bounce below or above quite often on these. So I use boxes. It's just what I do. You can do what you choose as well. All right, so we've got Grom. Grom had a nice impulsive move after 7 a.m. after it already was getting a lot of eyes on it at Power Hour yesterday. Power Hour yesterday, we went from 165 up to 272 for a good 65%. And we are bull flagging right now. Very interesting. This is very strong for continuation. I would not doubt if this did have an impulsive move and break that 422 again, which even that is 15 to 18% from where we're at now. So it's very interesting to me. It's something you really do need to pay attention to, this flag. Don't forget on our flags, we watch for our impulse move out. If you don't take that, impulse moves out are the riskier entry. If you take that, if you don't take that, wait for your bounce back. And then there's your entry. That's what we're looking for, is that bounce back area. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. So that's what we're looking for on that specific ticker. There is a breakout of our wedge pattern. Or on the short side, if we just, once we lose, say 317 to 325, if we just flush that area, don't even try to reclaim it, see ya. That's where I like a short entry on that. So those are the 2 areas I'm definitely watching on that specific ticker. AXLA is another one. It's been a little choppy pre-market, so it's not like the most exciting one to me. It was a gap up yesterday after hours and didn't maintain anything from there. It literally just had its bounce, didn't do much. 4 o'clock a.m., another bounce, and then that was it. Let me check the float on this one. All right, so it's got a decent float. It does have a decent float. Nothing, oh my God, under 10 million or anything like that. Decent float, though. I mean, the area that would get me looking twice on something like this is with some really, really nice volume. I'm talking we want to reach, because if we look at the 15-minute chart on a stock like this, it's trash. It's like we were talking last week about GNS. So what I want to see on this stock to give it a second look is I want to see the first 15, and this is going to sound crazy, I want to see that first 15 minutes volume to match yesterday's total volume. That's what I want to see. All right, so that's what you look at. That's what I want to see. I want to see that immediate volume push. Because if you look at GNS, you can see on the daily this volume, what it did. Look at these 3 volume pairs compared to everything in history. So it was very clearly, it right out of the gate hit that volume and was off to the races. All right, so let me pull up the rest of them. All right, here we go. So that's what I would personally like to see on that one. This is a nothing. This is a gap up, 0 volume. We don't even pay attention to this. PYPD is one that was very interesting at market open. I'm at about 6:30, something like that. We did pick up that beautiful support right at that 200 on the 1 minute. I do like to see that. If we lose the 55, I like the 55, 200, 21. I don't play with that 5, 8, 13. I don't do it. Though we know those crossovers. We can look at a chart and we know what we're doing with those crossovers. So if you're day trading and you can't say with authority, I can tell when a 5 is going to cross the 8. I can look at a chart and know when that's happening. You should. And that's what you should go back and back test is go back, turn off your MAs, mark the little points. This is around the area where it looks like that 5 is crossing that 8 or that 8 is crossing the 13, and eliminate one at a time with the most reactive first. Once you feel a little more confident, eliminate the 5. Once you feel a little more confident after that, eliminate that 8. Try to be stuck with just the 21 because you won't overreact to your charts. You'll see true bounce zones, this and that. When you have a cluttered up 5 MAs sitting on your chart, it's just not my favorite thing. But you do you, boo. So NVOS has been one that has been kicking for a couple days here. What I noticed with this one immediately is where it's sitting at. Because if we pop a little fibs on here, we can see. Sorry, I want to go to the low here. We can see it's hanging out right at that 618 approximately. I didn't draw this perfect, but I'm not going to waste valuable time to get to the penny. That's not what we need. What we want to see is this area here. And that is where it bounced and it's holding up. So we're going to watch this area here. If we take a nice strong bounce there, those secondary pushes a lot of the time are better than the first push. All right. So that's something that's something to consider. Look at a perfect example is GNS. We had a higher high yesterday than Friday. That thing came back to 628. So even if you missed the first move, that second move was 100% from the $3 to $3.15 area all the way up to 630. So we got 100% even with that second move with a higher high. So, there's no such thing as like, oh, I missed the run. No, chart the chart, play the technicals and go from there. That's what you need to do. And the same thing here. You can see this area, this major area sitting here on this hour chart. I'm going to put this right here, even though we're about to look at it on the 1 minute and 5 minute anyway. So that's our area. That's where we keep bouncing. Obviously, we've got downtrend. Obviously, it's a little, jumpy. The chart is jumpy. That's the easiest thing. There's no true volume that I like to see. Just very, very segregated little volume spikes here. So something like this, and it being a over $10, over $20 stock, it's not the penny stocks you use trading, but these run too. Don't get it twisted. Think HD, HKD, all those type of stocks. So for this one particularly, I want to see it at above that that $18 area before I would even look twice at it, to be honest. Oh, sorry guys. My dog knocked over my fan. All right. And then NVOS, we just went over. We know our fibs line here. I want to see a rate stabilize and a maintained hold of over 0.164. And that's where I would like that entry on that specific stock is right there. So that's what we're looking at. Pretty interesting there. And we've got our FNCH, another one, just nothing. So we're getting lower into these here. But what we are going to do, what I haven't been doing, let's pop on the 1 day because we have a couple of minutes and let's look at yesterday's top runners. What do we want to see for continuation? Because we don't want to miss those too. Like this one here, we could see clearly, okay, here's our trend line right here. And then we could see our downtrend line as well. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the wedge break here. So for on something like INBS, which shows it has legs, this bad boy went for like 400% yesterday, 300%, and it held up. It held up. We had a secondary push at 4 a.m. What does that tell me? That tells me, A, do not forget about it, even though it's not on the top runners list. And B, we see it break up out of this, this wedge area. We could have a third push here. It ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. So on INBS specifically, let me pop it on a shorter time frame. I'll tell you what I like. I like it. I mean, honestly, I like it above 130.35 with a hold above that 135. That's the area we're looking at. That's what we want to see. Let's check a couple more. HLBZ finally is one final one that's been all over socials for a while. And again, don't give up. Don't give up on this stock. We have gotten higher highs the last 2 days with higher highs in pre-market as well. Pullbacks and bounces. So here's our trend line. This one might take a while to come to fruition here. This one might fall a little bit. I don't know yet. We will see. We know we see this wick low from pre-market, and we know we see our trend pattern. And we also know we see on the 15-minute, we can't break that 55. We'll check this one out here. So what are we watching here? We want to see a break. The immediate thing we want to see. So here's our lower. We'd like to see the bounce. We know this is our trend line here. So we have three different strategies here. We watch for that longer term, longer the trend, the stronger the trend. We watch for that bounce in this area here. When we get that true bounce and then the break back above 38.5 cents, that's our entry, or a break and hold of our VWAP. Those are the two entries we're looking at, a break and a hold of this wick high here. Let's pull it up a little bit for safekeeping. Those areas we're looking at here. And then VRB finally is kind of dead. This could get a second push, but it's selling off pretty harsh for me. I will flip back to INBS from our top gainers list from this morning and HLBZ. Those two I will check on as we flip through. I will manually type those in. We're going to stick on the pre-market as the market opens here. So we've got just a couple minutes here. So we'll stick to these. We'll stick to our BXRX, GROM, AXLA, PYPD. We've got a few we went over today, more than we normally do. I did give you Aries, NVOS, just because it's a good one sitting at that 618, and then of course we will check our HLBZ and our INBS. So what I'm going to do is I will pop it back to that pre-market, and then I'll type in INBS HLBZ. And that way we could just flip from recently viewed to our top gainers and have them right there for us. BXRS is holding up. We do have that ascending wedge, that high risk here. We want to see that clean break up over our trend line here. Like I'm talking impulsive. Hotkey, be ready to sell in case it's ripped right back down into that trend. Critical, be ready to sell that. All right. So that's what we're looking at there. And then as far as we'll watch the rest as we go. I can see the order book. I know the market just opened. I saw that order book here. Okay, so that impulsive break out of this this flag here. Let's see what comes happen. So this one I like over 335. Back up over our wick there, 335 to 338. That's what I'm watching on this one here, right there. Our BXRX. All right, this one I'm expecting come down, test that 55. AXLA is doing not much of anything, so we're not going to watch that one too closely. Same thing here with the PYPD. I didn't actually put a trend line on that one. Let's Pop this trend line on and we'll go from there. And now let's watch, let's check out our HLBZ. All right, little sell-off candle. We didn't even sniff our entry on this one. So we're going to watch our bounce areas. Remember, we got our 2 bounce areas and our INBS. All right, so our INBS actually has hit our entry of that 133 here. Be very careful. Like I said, that hot key ready. This can be an impulse push and we could get really, really hurt here. So, you know, I said we want to take it in our box, 133. All right, so it's already 2 to 3% if this is the chart you were watching right here. I want to see us break up over this VWAP in the next minute or so, or I think we get a harsh rejection and we do come back down to that 120 area. We need to push now. Or I think we get, but we're getting some really good volume in here. We've got 135K, 140 block on the ask side. Don't like that. It wasn't even able to eat it up at all. Let's see if it can eat it up this time. If it eats up that 135K order right here, we're gonna flip another 10 cents or so. But it's really having trouble here. It didn't even touch that 140. So let's see what happens the next couple minutes here. Is that order going to get pulled or are they keeping it up? All right, it ate 6K of it. It's down to 27 here. If we could chew through this order, we'll touch 150 in the next 5 minutes. It's still really having a problem here, though. That was a huge sell wall. All right. That order's gone. Here we go. There's that candle we want to see. I really do expect 145 to 150 because we ate up that order. So I don't expect another. Yeah, 150 is our next wall. Now, same exact wall, that 35K again. They're keeping it down. That's the reality of it. You saw that same exact 35K order pop right back up again. And then the nasty sell-off. This is why we like our hotkeys. Let's see what happens in the next couple minutes here on this one. HLBZ is turning green a little bit here. It's looking actually pretty interesting to me. I would lower that. I like the entry. I'd probably lower it down maybe to 44.4. If we could push up over that, I think we get a really, really strong push here. Let's go back to our INBS, see what's going on here. So it's coming back up. It's coming back up. That was a nasty candle here. Let's see what happens over the next couple candles here. We already had that. 12 cents on a $1.30 was already 8 to 9% possibility there, guys. Just on those first 3 candles there. You got to have your hotkeys ready. You got to have one click buy and sell when you're scalping options. So, equities, excuse me. So let's pop on I like what this is doing. I don't mind it. Let's pop on the top gainers, see what they're doing. Rejection right at that's what we expected. So this is a pretty clean bounce here. Grom's not doing much. We are in our zone. Our 2 bounces we're looking for here. We get a break up over, say that 338 to 340 area. That's where I like the entry. AXLA is taking actually a really nice bounce here. I like an entry here at that 67 cents. This one looks very, very spicy at this entry here. And obviously with that 67 cent entry, stop loss below this low zone here. But that looks really nice in this area here. I think we get a little push. And let's see what is, we don't have anything stacked up here, like really no big red flags in our order book at all. I don't like the wick highs on both of these candles, showing some resistance. We break up over this 200 on the 1 minute. We should have a strong push here. Grom's doing nothing. BXRX. I like this one as well. If you were taking the bounce off of our trend line here, we could come up, sniff the top trend line for 650, 660, something like this. Again, anyone who's joining for the first time, you are not expected to take all these trades. You pick the chart that looks right to you and you stay on that chart and you take the entries that you like from the chart I give you that you like. You cannot float through all 8 and catch every entry as I'm flipping through them. You have to pick the chart that works for you. You can identify, look at that AXLA that I said I like that entry, that it absolutely popped from that 67 cents to 74 cents. That's over 10% there in that one candle. It looked great. It had the beautiful little curl up. It was flickering candle. Nothing stacked up on our order book at the time. Now we want to see the bounce at the entry level. If you're in this trade, scale out of most of this trade at this point. We've got our stop loss set. Let's pop on over to our HLBZ, see what it's doing. Hanging out. We are at entry level now. And INBS is holding up. This is very, very spicy, guys. It didn't come right back down. It picked up this wick, very neutral. So now at this point, if we lose this wick low from our last little raid here, I don't like calling it stop loss raid. That's not necessarily it, but it is a raid in a way. This is absolutely purposeful dumping at this point. So we're watching that wick low from the previous wick. If we take a hard bounce again, this would be your second chance entry. If we come down, if we bounce at that 127, I like entry again above that 132. If we lose this area, I'm not even looking at it again until we come down and test this line here. We had the impulsive move. We had the 12% pop. That's what we're looking at on these guys. That's the reality of it. This is floating right around that entry we talked about here on HLBZ. Little interesting. Let's go back to our top gainers. All right, BXRX hanging out bottom trend line. What's there's our AXLA. Beautiful. Like I said, love the order book. Nothing was screaming to me. This was one that we like. It was actually 67 cents. We jumped in like last second here. I said, I love this entry. We're buying right now. And since that point, we have already gone over 10.5%, 12%, something like that, 8 cents on 6.7. So yeah, this is beautiful. This could get a volatility halt if this candle pushes up a little longer. Big sell order or big buy order here at 70 cents. So let's see what happens over the next couple candles here. At this point, obviously, if you're in, raise your stop loss up some, guys. And I would have scaled out of at least 3/4 of my position here. That's just the reality of what you definitely want to get done on there. AT&T's halted. I've got to look at that. I've got to swing on that. Wow. Okay, 13% candle. That must have been news, huh? Someone tell me what the news was in the tell me what's going on with AT&T. I don't know if Mr. SLP's in there or who's in there, but that's wild right there. That's obviously a news halt. Or volatility off news, one of the two. That's what I meant to say. BXRX, here we go again. Took that perfect bounce off our entry line, guys. 550, already up to 620. Already 15% right there. Look at this candle go. That's a 9% candle, and we are halted. Nope, wait. Are we halted? We're halted. BXRX halted. I think it's halted, unless my computer's doing something. Yeah, we've got to be halted there. All right, GROM's dumping. AXLA's coming down. We had that beautiful little pop there. What I want to see, if we take a hard bounce here and break back up above our 67 to 68 cents, higher risk second entry is looking spicy there. Yeah, there's our halt. All right, guys, BXRX halted. Be ready to lock some profits. Verizon and AT&T are both halted. Wow. What happened, guys? Well, we had halted on earnings. Really? NEO's halted too? What's going on in the market today? I've never seen 3 big caps halted like that all at once. Like that's wild. That's wild. And I'm curious. We got 5 minutes and we'll be talking options. We've got an option on, we've got Verizon and AT&T options in the Discord. Again, if anyone is interested in the Discord, come check us out. pbalerts.com. Use the code Amy30 to get 30% off. Today, come check us out for a month. You'll pay for your subscription the first day if you follow us. Like I'm telling you guys, like check us out. We know what we're doing over there, and we're a family. I'll tell you what, the education alone is worth it. All right, I'm gonna turn off this annoying banner. I had to pop it up though, because we do have some killer alerts on both those. Hey guys, be ready to sell your T and your Verizon that we've got those swings on, because I don't want to see anyone lose their money. All right, let me get back to these charts. We got BXRX halted. Let me pop recently viewed. Watch our HLBZ, our INTS. Okay, so this break back over. We came down and it's pushing back up. So I do like this one again, probably above that 133 INBS for a second chance there. We already hit this for about 10 to 15%, depending on their entry. Worked out pretty nicely here. GNS is blasting because I just saw it at $4 a minute ago. I was peeking at the corner of my eye. damn, I don't want to rush in here. I'm very disappointed. When it was at $4, I got distracted. I wasn't safe. We could break back over. We can't pop in on this candle. We have to wait for a pullback first, guys. This is the GNS is one, like when I said last Tuesday, I don't know who, let's blow up the chat and let's hit that like. If anyone remembers last Tuesday when we talked about GNS and I said it had HKD vibes and this thing was ready to blast and to keep it on your watch list, even not just that day, but last week overall. So like, give us some likes on this video, guys, if you guys remember me talking about that last Tuesday, because if you do and you bought a little, you had like 700% in 2 days. HLBZ looks really interesting here off that 55 bounce again. Yeah, there's so many halts. Like it is very wild here. I don't even know what to think about this stuff. Really strange. Well, that's back open. Netflix. All right. So T is back open too. All right. Let me get back to these. We'll get back to what we're looking at here. We are watching this BXRX. We had the bounce off our bottom trend line around 553. We're floating around 650 right now, which is about 14% from entry. Okay, let me take a drink here. And AXLA hanging out. I mean, if you took that bounce entry again, 67 cents, be careful. I wanted to see it push right now. The order book looks okay. Second level looks okay. I do want to see it break back up over that 70 cents pretty quickly in the next minute or two, to be honest. Or I don't like it as much at all. And VOS, everything else is kind of a little bit. I'm going to shift this though to the 1 day since we only have a couple minutes. Let's see what's going on today. All right. Why is it yesterday's 1 day? That's actually maddening to me. What is going on here? Oh, Weeble. Okay, I guess I'll keep it on pre-market. It's not loading for me. Sorry, guys. I'll take it, though. Hey, you know what? Green is green. I love to see it, godson. Green is green. So you'll get that engagement ring. We're working towards it. We'll get it. Give it a few weeks here. We'll get those trades for you. Don't you worry. All right, so XL is popping again. What we want to see happen. I think if we could push back up over, say the 72 to 73 cents and hold, I think we break that high again. I do think that we've got the cards stacked up for this stock in particular to break over that area again. So all right, let's see what else is going on here. So PYPD is actually trying to break back up over that trend line again. So if we break that 130 level, I do actually like an entry on this one. I think we get a nice little push here. 130, above 130 for entry. And this GROM keeps hitting this resistance here. If we do actually make a push over that 331 to 332 area, we'll get a really nice push off this one too. We need to break up over it though, and I think it'll be an impulse move if we do. BXRX hit 689, halted back down. So, anywhere from $5.50 to $6.40. So that's a good, 20 to 25%. Even if you the worst possible scenario, you're still up 5-6%, even if you couldn't get the sell off. All right, there's our push we're looking for on AXLA. I'm gonna slow down at this point. We got another halt on Hollow. It's a halt down. All right, and that's a halt down. So let's watch AXLA for a minute here, and I also want to pop up GNS because that was interesting. I want to find some levels here. All right. So if we pop over 458 again, I like entry. And on that note, we're going to pop on over to the Discord. Don't take that entry till below 458. Remember that you can go to pbalerts.com, check us out, come to the Discord. discord.gg/pennyboys. And come check us out there as well. We have free watch lists every day. Thanks, guys. I will see you guys in the Discord. Bye.